Welcome to another Hoops and Dreams QPR podcast. And in this episode, we'll be talking to Paul Smyth. A very warm welcome to you, Paul. And
Thanks,
thanks for
Simon.
giving us some of your time after the training and recovery session.
No problemo. I wish it was a recovery session.
If I may, can I start with going over your history as a player? I know you joined Linfield at the age of 18 years old in 2015, which
Indeed.
10 years ago now.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
long time.
and it was a very successful side at that time. You were winning, I think you won the treble the next
Oh, we
season.
did indeed, yeah. First year
Uh,
was like a breakthrough for me.
Yeah, I was going to say, how did it feel to become suddenly a senior player in a winning club?
That was good. I was nowhere near senior playing. I was 16, 17 when we actually started winning things. But no, it was amazing to get obviously silverware is really, really nice. And that feeling of knowing what it feels like is just you can't explain it to anyone. But I was fortunate enough to be in a good team and I helped them along the way to victory. So we actually got we won the league, I think it was, the Irish Cup, which is equivalent to like the FA Cup in England. And then
Yeah,
the
I saw that. The county
County
Antrim.
Shield.
Well,
Yeah.
yes,
That's
don't
like the
forget
Victory
that.
Shield when they went to, is it the, no, Victory Shield's Northern Ireland. It's the Community Shield's kind of similar.
Well, it's good. So, did you ever play against Jimmy Dunn?
No, he was the South of Ireland. So it
So
was,
didn't get to see him.
no, I
Okay.
didn't know. Because I would have had fun against him as well. He's a big stiff man.
Yeah, I can imagine that. It would also be remiss of me. I know you've not mentioned this, but it'd be remiss of me not to mention that you were also the Ulster Young Player of the Year in that same season.
I wasn't there actually, yeah. Oh, that's actually, it was really nice vase. They actually get, you want to see it? It's really, really nice vase. Um, it's actually in my house still. Still sitting in my house in the trophy cabinet. But that was the year I did really, really well. Obviously with the travel. But like I said, I had a lot of good experienced players. I was playing alongside a fella that played 600 games for Linfield. So he's been there and done it. I think he actually won the league not long ago. I think it was last Saturday they won the league, and I think it was like his 11th trophy. So like 11th league title, and I was playing alongside of him. So he showed me what it was like to win and to be a winner. I was on the other end of being shouted at or having a big dispute with him, but it got me to where I am today, and I'm used to it now. So if anyone has a go at me or gives me a bit of criticism, it's a good thing for me because I know how to deal with it and I know how to
Yeah,
show that I'm capable of playing and doing well.
that makes sense. I mean, do you sort of follow Lingfield's progress still?
Every day, I still text David Healy to this day. So we played Switzerland with Northern Ireland, and I started and I got booked within like the first 30 minutes. It was like I thought it was a good tackle, but obviously the referee didn't. Like the guy rolled screaming and got me booked. But my friend was telling me after on the commentaries, David Healy was saying that I couldn't tackle even at Linfield. So I had to message him about that one. I wasn't too pleased. But no, I still keep in touch with some of the boys who still play there as well. And I watch every game that I can on the BBC when they're playing, and some games are on Sky. But yeah, I like to keep in touch because it got me to where I am now, and that was the club that I started playing. So yeah, it was a great club.
Good. All right. I mean, it's obviously it was an exciting period in your career, and I assume that you were feeling pretty much settled at that point.
100%, yeah. I was still working as a tree surgeon, believe it or not. Yeah, I was a part-time footballer, so we trained th Tuesday, Thursday, and then I would work and go to school with my uncle at the same time. So there's days I used to skip school to go work to make money just because I didn't like school. So, which isn't a good thing, but that was just who I was at the time when I was a kid. I just wanted to work and be outdoors and just earn money really. And obviously when I got my move to QPR, it was full-time football, so it was like took me quite a while to adjust to that in every day, playing football every day.
I was gonna ask about that because when QPR came a knocking at the door, um, you were leaving a team with winning ways and everything into the unknown almost. I mean, was it really daunting?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I was still 18, coming 19, coming over to QPR. Again, it was full time, and I was leaving my whole family behind and my friends, and a place where I was enjoying myself and thriving so well in football. But as a kid, it was actually quite funny. When I was younger, I used to watch Match of the Day with my granda, and I used to see QPR on it all the time when they were in the Premier League,
Yeah.
and I used to watch their games, and it was like surprising to see like such a such a small team in the Premier League, but such a big club in general. But in the Premier League, compared to all the big giants, like it was like a small club. So I was like, who's this club beating like United, Liverpool at home, going to Chelsea and beating Chelsea? I was like, this is like such a good club. And then obviously whenever the call came in to say the QPR were interested, there was nothing, no doubt in my mind that I wanted to come here. It was a tough
Right.
conversation with David Healy at the time, but I was always wanting to come to QPR.
And you came here on August 2017 on a 2-year contract, if I remember rightly. Was it easy to make that transition and fit into the squad?
No. It was actually quite tough to be fair. I think it was just because it was full-time football. And like I said, I was part-time and I wasn't used to that training every day and doing gym. Like I never did gym, as you can tell. I never did gym when I was at Linfield because I didn't have to. Because we trained on a Tuesday, turned up and did small sided games and then went home because most of the boys were working all day. But then to come into this full-time environment, training every day, like I said, with the gym and playing against bigger players, more physical players, and it was a tough transition, but I think playing at Linfield, playing for the first team kind of helped me physically. It was
Yeah.
just like the pace of the game and the players were like really intelligent and understood the game more, whereas I didn't have that much time on the ball, whereas at Linfield I did. It was trying to adjust to that, which was tough. It only took me like I think it was a couple of months, but technically I still wasn't the best because I didn't have that academy, come through the academy, learning all the technical stuff. Like what you see with me is all my doing and with help on the side of David Healy. And that was just like with different movements and stuff as a forward. But the rest like was just all me. Just that's who I am, just full of energy and just love running.
Yeah, I mean, you were saying you were transitioning, but we should mention that in your championship debut against Cardiff City, of all people, in the following January, you scored.
Yeah.
I mean, how did that feel?
Unbelievable. It was actually quite funny because it was on a Thursday, and I remember me and Ozzy Kaikai got called in to the office with Ian Holloway. And Ian Holloway said to him, spoke to him first. He was like, "Listen, I'm putting you on the bench." Obviously, we were playing with the 23 at the time. He says, "Oh, I'm going to put you on the bench," and I was like, "Oh, well, I must be on the bench as well." And if he's on the bench, and then he was like, "But I'm going to play you up top with Big Matt Smith," and I was like, "Yeah, all right." Like, didn't believe him because I was 19, I was young, I was just into the first team, and I was all new to it. And yeah, he gave me my chance and rang my mum straight away. They came over, booked an expensive flight because it was
Oh,
last
God.
minute to Heathrow, and same as me, Mrs. Mum and Dad, I did the same thing. So I had my whole family there as well to watch it. And I think if you watch the game, I was just running around like a headless chicken, just having so much fun because it was such an experience. And to score the winner as well just made it even sweeter. And yeah, I think I had a good New Year's that time.
And I think I'm right in saying that was the first time we saw your goal scoring celebration.
Yeah,
Uh,
it
where
was.
where did that come from, Paul?
Trampolining. I did trampolining when I was a kid, believe it or not. I'm full of surprises, honestly. There's so much about me that nobody knows. When I was doing my GCSE PE, I decided to do trampolining instead of football. That just sums me up. Got an A star in trampolining and decided to take it to the football pitch. And it was really, if you actually go back and look at like when I first played for Linfield first team and started scoring goals, the backflip was the worst thing you'll ever see. I was getting like gymnasts messaging me going, "That is terrible. You need to work on it," and things like that. And I was like, I do not care. But over time, I've just been able to, I perfected it. And it's still not good, but listen, it's what I do and it's what I enjoy doing.
If you keep scoring goals, you'll perfect it, I'm sure.
That is true.
It'd be wrong of me not to mention that in the 2018 period, you also graduated from the Northern Irish under 21s into their senior squad. So everything going good for you, and you made your 82-minute sub debut in a friendly against South Korea. 3 minutes into that debut, you scored.
Yeah.
And you gave them that 2-1 victory because of that. So is
Well,
that the most momentous goal that you think you've ever scored, Paul?
yeah, because we played Spain the night before under 21s
Oh
on one of
gosh.
the worst pitches I've ever seen. It was like a farmer's field. They just dug it up and it was like flip. Because we were playing Spain, it was like, where can we play Spain where they can't play football? And they still managed to play football and beat us 5-3. It was a mental game. But I played 90 minutes there. And then after, Michael O'Neill came into the change room and he says that he was going to bring in, I think it was like 6 or 7 players to train with the first team. And then he was going to bring 2 players to be on the bench in the game against South Korea. and he was going around the squad and naming who was coming to train, and I wasn't one of them, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I've got a chance really. And then he named Shane Lavery, and then he named me, and I was like, oh, are you sure about that one? And then I run out to my mum and dad and told them, and they were all buzzing. Obviously, I got the tickets, and then I turned up the next day. I was on the bench, and I was warming up. I think it was like a 75th minute, and he tried to bring me on. But the sports science team were like, he literally just played 90 minutes last night. Like, at least give him like 5 or 6 minutes instead. So I warmed up like 4 or 5 times because he kept calling me back to bring me on. The sports science were like, no. So eventually, when I came on, it was like, couldn't believe it. My whole family were there, and I scored in front of the cop end, and it was just a surreal moment. And being able to do the backflip and that. Like, to be fair, all the first team, all the senior boys were all laughing because as I scored, I was moving them out of the way to try and do my celebration. And then after that, the game, Michael O'Neill gave me the day off with the 21s because we still had a game like
Too.
4 or 5 days later.
Yeah.
And he gave me the day off and he let me go out and drink with the first team.
I
But
would
yeah,
hope so.
no, it was a brilliant moment for me and my family, and yeah, I couldn't, well, I wouldn't change it, and I'd love to go back to it again if I could.
Yeah, and I think that's a great memory, really good memory. You then went on loan spells from QPR. You went to Accrington Stanley up north, Wycombe Wanderers, not so far up north, and then Charlton Athletic just round the corner before you joined Leighton Orient.
Yeah.
That spell at Orient allowed you to really show how good you were, I thought. So much so that 2 years later, you were signed back by QPR. I don't know many that's happened to. Um, it's not often that you hear of this happening, Paul, and I'm sure it must have given you some satisfaction to be offered a contract by the club that released you, but also perhaps some concern that history might repeat itself.
I didn't see it that way. I seen
Good.
it a bit of a chance of opportunity for me because the first time, obviously with Ian Holloway, I got a chance. I think I played 14 games. I started seven and came off the bench for seven, but um, and then after that, it was just chop and changing managers, and I couldn't get into the rhythm of how they played, and maybe they didn't like me or didn't like the way I played, and it was just better for me to go out on loan. And I kind of fell out of love towards the back end of football of being a QPR. And then when I heard I wasn't getting my option taken up, I was obviously devastated, but I kind of took it as on the chin and thought, right, well, let me go somewhere else and prove that I am a good player and I should have had my chance at QPR. And that's what I did with Leighton Orient. That club did everything for me and they were absolutely brilliant. And I was able to smile and love football again. And yeah, like I says, I did so well at Northern. I got my chance back at QPR, and for me, it was to prove to myself. It wasn't to prove to anyone else, the fans, this club in general. It was just to prove to me that I could play at this level and play at the championship level. And I thought it was the best opportunity to get because I'm not too sure if there was any other clubs that were interested in the championship. So when that opportunity came, it was tough for me to weigh up all the options because Leighton Orient was such a good club for me. And but the only thing was it was quite far from me and my family. And I had my little son when I was at Orient. So I was missing like time with him and missing things when he was doing when he was growing up. And I was missing all these moments when QPR are only 25 minutes around the corner from my house. So it's literally perfect. And it was one of the toughest decisions I did make in my football career so far, whether that was QPR or Orient. But I always wanted to play championship and I loved this club so much. I was like, I couldn't say no. So once I came back again, I was just there to try and give it a ring I had.
I'm glad you came back.
Thank you.
I want to go back to your time at Leighton Orient though, because there was a period when you must have questioned what you'd done to annoy someone because you suffered injury after injury. I believe
Yeah.
you started with a hamstring injury, only to do the opposing one upon recovery, only to recover once more to do them both again, which
Yeah.
is really going a bit at it. And then, not content with that, you also broke a little toe and then suffered a collapsed lung when
You
two
can keep
opponents
adding to that
came to
list if you
cover you.
want. There's more.
This sounds like really cruel luck to me. Did it feel the same to you?
100%. Yeah. I think I missed 30 games. I think I played the last 10 games of the season, but that was when the new manager came in. But yeah, just in that period of time is one of my darkest moments in football.
I thought,
Like their gym at Leighton Orient, it was a cricket club we trained at. So like the area we were training and the facilities were like they were the best that they could do, of course. And the gym had no windows because it was a squash court.
Oh,
So like
God.
when I was in the gym, it was dark, it was gloomy, I was on my own. All the boys were fit, they were out training every day, they were coming in with a smile on their face, laughing, having a bit of fun, and I'm just sitting there like, yeah, I'm still here, but I can't do anything. Like, and the feeling of them winning on a Saturday and not being there to and not being a part of it, it was tough. And then coming back from one injury to then get it again, to then come back, it was just a cycle I couldn't get out of, try to find everything I could do to keep myself fit, and I just couldn't find it. Like I thought after the broken toe, I was like, yeah, this is me. Like I played 2 games and I'm thinking, yeah, this is me back. And then go away to Mansfield and a collapsed lung and I'm out for another 3 weeks. So it was like, what's the point? And I think I said this in the papers not long ago when I was in Northern Ireland. It was like, if it wasn't for me, wife, to be fair, like I don't think I would be playing here because it was just a moment that I was just so gone. Fell out of love with football, couldn't enjoy it. And just what was happening with the club with me, with the manager that was there at the start, it was just a relationship that we couldn't get right. And I was just one of those toughest moments I've ever had, like I said, in football. But when the new manager came in, Richie Wellens, I was like, well, let me try and get fit to see if he actually likes me and he'll give me a chance. And got fit, played the last 10 games of the season. I think I scored 5 goals or something like that. And I just went, next year I'm going to attack it and give it everything I have because I wasn't able to give the club at the start what I can do. And I think we were fighting relegation when I came back because we went from top right down to bottom so quickly up until Christmas time. And like I said, when the new manager came in, changed everything. The boys started playing, enjoying football, and we started picking up a run. And I think we went the last 10 games unbeaten or something like that. And then it put us in good stead for the following year.
I I tell you what, I think probably we should be all thanking your wife for all her efforts in getting you turning you around because
Please don't tell her that because her head would be absolutely massive and she knew it would.
well, am I right in thinking that on Saturday when you came off you were waving up to the crowd up to somebody there and was that your wife and your family?
Yeah, I had family and friends
I,
over. I had my best friend and his wife, and then my little man, and obviously my wife, and then the other friend from England. I used to go to school with him, and he came with his girlfriend, so it was nice to have them all there and support me. And then I had other friends that are actually QPR fans in and around the stadium behind the goal and stuff. So it was a nice occasion, but it was just unfortunate we couldn't win. But yeah, like I said, I
there
like
were
having
an
people there
awful lot of
watching.
people there clapping you,
Oh
but I
no,
know you
no,
had
thank
only
you.
eyes for your family, so we
Exactly.
understand. So, okay, how did you yourself overcome the despair? Was it really your wife only, or was it anybody else involved?
A massive part of it would have been her, yeah. And then when Richie Wellens came in, he brought in a
Ah,
psychologist
okay.
that he used. And I started talking to her, Claire, you call her. She was brilliant. I still talk to her to this day. And she was just there to help me through it as well. She was just giving me little like tips to change my mindset, and it helped a lot too. But like I said, if it wasn't for me wife, it was it was probably me going back to Belfast and spending time with family and stuff. Whether that would be me coming back again, I just don't know. But in that period of time, I was thinking of just going back home. And yeah, like I said, if I wasn't speaking to me wife or Claire, it wouldn't have. I'm still here. That's the main thing.
Other than talking to your wife, what would you say to fellow professionals about coping with major injuries?
Just find something that works. I know it's tough, but if you do find something that works, stick to it. Don't change it. And if you're in a position where you can't deal mentally, then speak to a psychologist because there's nothing wrong with that. I did it myself and it helped me massively. It doesn't make you look like you're weak or you can't deal with life. It just means that you're there to look after yourself and you wanna be happy in football, you want to be happy in life, and if that takes to talk to someone, then so be it. Like there's nothing wrong with that. No one's going to judge, and I'm pretty sure that if I went there around them on the street and told them that I'm upset and I need someone to talk to, I'm sure they would have the common courtesy to do so. So it's just finding that balance to try and speak up and maybe even open up a little bit, and then you can never know. 2 months down the line, you're talking about your whole life. So I just think it's important to be happy and then enjoy the moment that you're in because like I said, you never know what could happen with me with injuries. It was tough, and I found a way out of it, and I'm pretty sure there's loads of other people can do the same.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And I think talking about it is the only thing that will long-term work. Okay, let's move on to happier times. How
Please.
how has it felt to start regularly for QPR again and also to be in the Northern Ireland squad?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Especially having a little man there. I'm not too sure on if you see on my social media, there's videos of me and my little man on Windsor Park after the Northern Ireland games and him running around. And it's just a memory for him and me for a lifetime. So just being able to create little memories like that, it just makes it all even sweeter. But like I said, for me coming back to QPR, it was just to prove to myself that I could play at this level and try and get a regular spot. I think it was taking it for me when I come into football now, it's stay fit, stay as fit as I can and help the team as much as I can. And then after that, I'll just keep ticking off all the boxes that I want to tick off. And I've been doing that this season, tried to do it last season as well. And I think that if I can stay fit and healthy, then I can produce my best football for the club and try and keep pushing and scoring and assisting and helping the team as much as I can.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to say that you're being very cautious with your play because you're worried about injury, but you don't give a damn, do you? You just
No.
play.
If it happens, it happens. Like I said, it's football. Like injuries do happen. Like
Mm.
we made it now. Like it's a part of football, and if you don't get injured throughout football, then hats off to you. You've got something that works for you. Keep doing it. Um, but for me, like I just go out and give 110%. That's just who I am, and that's always who I have been. And if I get injured, then so be it. I'll find a way to get out of it. Touch wood, I don't, which is the main thing. But yeah, like I said, just stay fit and produce as much as I can.
I gotta ask this. Do you, I know you do the long throw-ins for us. Do you do them for Northern Ireland as well?
Yeah. I
Where
don't
did
know where
you,
I got it from, to be honest with you. Just one day we were in training, just throwing the football about, and I happened to throw it a bit further than everyone else, and they thought we could actually might use this. So
really?
did it on a game, and it kind of worked. Put teams under pressure a little bit, and thought, yeah, this could be a regular thing. And unfortunately, I've no shoulders now.
Okay. If you compare the current first team squad with the squad that was there when you joined initially in 2017, is there any real difference? For example, are they better motivated now or friendlier now? Are they better
Yeah,
singers?
I'd like to think they're a lot friendlier now. Back in the day, what was that? Maybe 7, 8 years ago, it was a lot more old school, let's just say. And it was a tougher environment for me personally. But now that I've come back here, it seems a lot more friendly, a lot more easier to get on with players. And there's like a nice balance of experience and youth. And I'm kind of just in the middle, and I'm just trying to just bounce in between both. The one try and guide the young players through to help them through tough times and help them through good times, and then be there for the experienced boys. Not that they need me to be there for them, but like I says, you never know who needs a talking to and who needs the help. But I'm just there to give feedback or give help that I need. And yeah, I think it's a lot easier this time around than it was last time.
That's good.
Because
And you
I
got
mean, when I was younger, when I came here, I was 19, I was cleaning first team players' boots. But for me, I never did that, and I wasn't used to it. So I was like, why would I want to clean your boots?
yeah.
So I got on the other end of getting a bit of stick. Who do you think you are, sort of person? But I was just wasn't used to it. But the academy players were, because that was the thing back then. Whereas now, I wouldn't ask anyone to clean my boots. So I don't think that's coming. I think that's gone, long gone. But like I said, it's a lot easier now in football than it was.
And so it should be as well. I
Yeah.
agree with you. God, it's awful. I didn't realize that was still going on.
No,
Okay.
not no more, thank God. But yeah, like I said, 10 years ago, it probably would have been.
Okay. Without naming clubs, have you been part of a team that, for whatever reason, just did not gel in the changing room on the training pitch? And if so, did that lack of cohesion transfer across into the matches that you played?
Um, I've been fortunate enough not to be on the end of that, but I can see how it could, yeah. Because there's times where I go into a game where I'm not feeling 100% happy or 100% in general, and it's lacked in my performance. So if you've got a whole squad that don't gel or aren't happy with whatever happens in the club or with personnel between each other or disputes between each other, then Yeah, 100%. You can see why, because you see the top teams that are doing well and playing well, whether they have the best players or the average players that are doing so well. It's just like the cohesion they have and the friendships they have in the group. I think that's why we did so well at Leighton Orient as well. We had a lot of good, like good footballers, but like outside of football, we were all close friends. Anything we
Yeah,
did, we would go out to the pub and have a few drinks, and if you weren't there, you were dragged there. But when they were dragged there, they were happy to be there because everyone got along and everyone was just so close together. Um, but yeah, I could see how that would affect the playing as well as
yeah. So would I. I mean, I think it would. It has to affect it, doesn't it?
yeah.
Anyway, let's go on to this season. Would you describe it as a frustrating roller coaster, perhaps?
Most certainly is a roller coaster, yeah. Um, we've been in periods where we're 4 points off playoffs, periods where we're bottom of the league. Now I think it's like 5 or 6 points off the bottom four, and we always manage to turn it around like we do. But I'm sure it's tough for the fans to watch because it is a roller coaster, but it's tough for us as well. We know what it feels like, and for me as a fan, as a player too, supporting the club, it is also frustrating for me because I just want us to be plain sailing and flying all the time. Obviously, football is like that, and you can't be. Um, but yeah, it has been tough. But like I says, I try and stay positive as much as I can, whether we're on a 10 win streak or a 10 losing streak. You just try and stay positive, as positive as you can, because the more you start dwelling on it, the more you start being negative about it, it can only go one way. So, like I says, there's positivity in the group and there's belief in the group, and we know we can. So, like I says, we'll just take it game by game and see what happens. We got a big game tomorrow, so let's just see what happens, and hopefully the fans can turn out and support us and sing their hearts out, and then we can get the win for them.
I'm with you on that. Yeah. Can you, I mean, you're running down the wing a fair bit, keeping yourself fit down there.
I try.
Um, can you, how much can you hear of the crowd egging you on?
Yeah, a lot. Like you see how close QPR is to the pitch. The fans may as well be playing themselves. I can hear everything that goes on, especially when I take a throw in. I tend to some I stay on in the game, and sometimes I just sit down beside the fans because I couldn't be out moving because I'm so tired. But you can hear them talking in my ear, and they're all giving you encouragement and stuff like that. So it's always nice
Good.
to hear, and it kind of makes you want to keep going. But yeah, like I said, it's such a good club, and the fans have supported the whole way, and it's there's been ups and downs. I'm sure the fans thought when we were 4 points or 2 points off playoffs, whatever it was, thought we were getting promoted to the Premier League, and now they're
Mm,
all panicking. But you got to be realistic. The Championship's one of the toughest leagues in the world. You see that how close it is at the bottom and how close it is at the top.
yeah.
It just fluctuates so much. So, like I said, for us, we just stay as positive as we can and take it game by game, and that's all we can do.
And that's all we can ask, I think, to be quite honest. Okay, come on, let's go on to these quick fire questions that I mentioned earlier on. So I'm looking for some fast, short responses. You don't have to go into great details. Number one, how do you switch off from training and competitive football?
Play PlayStation or play football with me little man. That's all he wants to do when I go home. Play football.
Can't get away from it.
I genuinely can't. And I'm hoping that he goes to darts or golf because I enjoy just sitting there, and it's such a slow sport and you don't have to do much. Whereas football, you're constantly running. So yeah, probably play a PlayStation and run about with a little man.
Okay, so do you have any plans yet as to what you'll do after your football career finally comes to an end?
I'm so spontaneous. I've got so many ideas that going on, like to the point where I might even open a soft play and a cafe at the same time. Like a little
Hey,
soft play cafe. And then I'm thinking of buying houses and renting houses out. And then I'm thinking of becoming a coach of football. Like I've got so many things going on in my head. I just can't nail one down yet. So you could probably see me being a bin man or something, literally.
listen, you've got lots of time to think about this and
Yeah,
come
there
to a
is. I hope
decision.
there's
Yeah.
about 8 years left.
What is your favorite country to visit and why?
Um, to be honest with you, like I haven't been. I know it's quick fire, sorry, but I just like talking so much. Um, I've been so many places with Northern Ireland itself, but like on a personal note, when I go on holidays and stuff, like I just love quick holidays, quick flight, quick transport, and then I'm there on the bevies on the strawberry daiquiris and just having fun on the beach. So anywhere close for sun, then yeah, that's me.
That's a good enough. Okay, well, you probably will be well away when they do I hope, do the pre-season training somewhere nice and sunny.
Yeah, but no drinking, so just all football and fitness work,
Yeah,
especially
brilliant.
for pre-season.
Have you got any pre-match rituals?
I try not to be sick. I tend to get,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. This is a new one. Probably fans have probably not heard it, or they might have because we spoke about it a couple of times. But um, on a Saturday on match day, I tend to get overworked up and tend to just get this tummy ache where I'm going to be sick. So I pour cold water over my head. So that's why you see me on the sideline pour water over my head. It kind of stops me from actually vomiting. Believe it or not, I've vomited a couple of times this season. And that's just down to nerves and actually caring about performing well and performing for the fans. And it just means a lot. So I get to the stage where I get worked up too much and I throw up. So that's why you see me absolutely drenched before I go out and play football. So
Listen, if
I may as well shower
you're
before I
sick
go out and
when we
play
go
football.
away, but the
Shower.
away matches, we don't care, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What keeps you grounded? Is it the family?
Yeah. And I think just where I came from as well. My background is like I was a part-time footballer. I was a tree surgeon. I used to climb trees and cut them down with my uncle and um just being a family person in general. I just think knowing where I came from and not having a lot when I was younger and getting everything I wanted when I was younger, it kind of grounded me to respect everyone the way I want to be respected. That's I think that's what my dad taught me all the time. He was like, treat everyone the way you want to be treated and go about life how you want, but make sure it's the right way and not the wrong way.
I think your dad's
And
right.
they taught me a lot. They really did.
Well done to him. Okay, favorite tipple?
Favorite what, sorry?
Favorite tipple? Favorite drink?
I've never heard tipple. That's a new
Oh, talk to
okay.
Paul afterwards. All right.
Favorite drink. I'm a sucker for a Lucozade Orange fizzy.
Whoa. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
I know
Gosh.
I'm not allowed to say that. I should be saying water, but yeah, I'm a sucker for Lucozade Orange.
Yeah, well, you should try and get sponsored by your dentist.
I know. I'm surprised my teeth hasn't fallen out.
Would you encourage family members to follow a career in football as well?
Yes and no. Football. Yeah. Only because I've experienced the highs and lows of football. When I'm feeling 100% and football's going also well, yes, 100%. But when it's going low, no. Um, it's a tough environment. I think seeing the program, I think there was like a Crystal Palace program on BBC about their youth academy and stuff and how they can just get let go just like that without even like some of them give them an explanation, some of them don't get an explanation. But like seeing the background of the kids working so hard, tirelessly, straight after school, they're out training in their back garden with their mums and dads. Then they're straight to training with Crystal Palace. Then they've got matches the next day. And it's just so much pressure they put on themselves to then be let down or let go is
Yeah.
just heartbreaking. And for me personally, I'm glad I was never able to experience that coming through an academy because that would have killed me. That would have
Well,
killed me, like it does with the other kids. But part of me thinks that if that did happen to me, I would be resilient enough to go, screw you. I'll just go show you then. But I know how tough it can be. So I'll probably tell me little man that it's his choice at the end of the day. If he wants to play football, he can. But I'll tell him that yes, it's a good thing, and also this is what can happen. So be prepared, sort of thing. So
yeah,
hopefully he plays golf or darts.
make sure your little man learns how to clean his own boots.
100% yes, in case it's still around when he starts playing.
Okay, so which is preferable? Scoring a goal for Northern Ireland or scoring one that gets us into the Wembley playoff final?
That's a great question. I'll have to say scoring one for QPR because most QPR fans will watch this. If it was a Northern Ireland podcast, I'd say Northern Ireland. So both
Yeah, I can understand that. Favorite meal?
Chinese takeaway. Yeah.
That's good enough.
Yeah. That's my cheat day. That's my cheat day. My favorite meal is a Nando's. I love a Nando's. Chicken and rice.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Not too often, I would think.
No.
No.
It's actually not, is it to be fair, I actually spoke to a nutritionist. It's not as bad as you think, but it's when you have it. I wouldn't have it like a day before a game. Of course not. No, that's just not as professional as footballer would do. I wouldn't
Not
have it.
these
I have
days.
it maybe maybe three. They call it -3 before a game. We'll be able to have an Nando's. He allows me to have an Nando's in our nutritionist.
Okay, last one. Who do you turn to for advice in the squad, or is it you now that's giving out the advice?
Um, I think it's a bit of both. Like I said, because of what's happened to me in my previous, I'd like to think that I'm there to support as many people as I can, because it's not a nice place to be in. Um, but yeah, I don't really know. I've been fortunate enough not have to go to someone for support, but I'm pretty sure I could rely on everyone, whether they're young or old. I think that's the sort of group we have now, that you could go to anyone for support. And like I say, as I tend to help and give out support as much as I can as well.
That's good. And I would imagine that each of you is probably egging the other on anyway. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
There's always a challenge, there's always a test, and we always like to test each other. So yeah, the group's a good group.
and I'm guessing that all of you are 100% competitive.
Too competitive sometimes, where there's some nice tackles going in training where it's borderline relax.
Okay, that's it, Paul. Can I end by thanking you for this chat? And,
No
it
problem.
really is much appreciated.
No worries. Anytime. Thank you very
And
much for having me.
yeah, I know, great. On behalf of Hoops and Dreams and all the QPR fans, may I wish you continued success.